I'm Douglas. Let me start with a story. This is a story about my friend Elizabeth, who is married, and this happened in the COVID-19 season. So during that time of COVID-19, there was a lot of time at people's disposal, including herself. She actually had a busy schedule, but she realized during that time there was a lot of nothing to do for her, even with the people in the house. Uh, they could spend a lot of time sleeping. She personally, or herself personally, could spend a lot of time on her phone. Her husband would spend also a lot of time on her phone. Why? Because, of course, there was not a lot of time to share with the families. You could not go to the restaurant. You could not go to the beach. You could not go for a game. You could not go for football. You could not go for hockey. You could not go for anything. You could not spend some time maybe walking around because everyone was required to be inside or stay inside their house. So during that season, or with a lot of nothing to do, she had to find a way to definitely get engaged, definitely, find what's going on in the world. And that's how she decided to spend much time on her phone, trying to find something to keep her busy after maybe breakfast, after lunch, when everyone else in the house has nothing to do. Definitely, she had to find something to keep her busy off, the work schedule. And that is when she dived into her phone. That is when she decided to find something to do with her phone and to get busy with something on her phone. And she landed on this game in her phone app and she decided to play the game. And you know how games can, really be interesting, can be addictive, can, get you caught into that, environment. So the game became so interesting that at every level, she was required to know, to get more coins. And actually, the more she got the coins, the more money she required to pay. But at that point, she never realized that, you know, she never noticed that every coin she was getting, she had to pay for it. So her phone was synchronized. Her payment, her husband's Visa card was synchronized with her phone. So every time she paid for or she got a token, money was taken off her husband's phone, but she never noticed because at a certain point she got stuck at a certain level and she needed help to get over that level. And that is when she decided to begin getting coins. And within no time, sort of like after something like 8 months, they had lost about 8,000 US dollars. And this money was getting off her husband's payment card. So I want you to just imagine about that. Just imagine how much money that is during that time when we needed money most, when we needed resources most for groceries, for bills, for heat, for water. And just like boom, money is gone. Actually, that's a lot of money because at that point, everyone was trying to make ends meet. It's a sad story because after a long while they're seated on for dinner, this is when it pops up and the husband is like, I think I need to talk about this. But after a long time, he was quiet. He never wanted to talk about it. But later on, while they were at dinner, the husband is like, maybe, wait a minute, let me just share this. And when she brings this concern to the table, my friend Elizabeth realized she wasn't wrong. she was, she went vulnerable and all this money went missing. Not because, she decided or she wanted or she intended that the money should go, but because maybe no one never spoke to her. No one never told her anything about cybersecurity. So she found herself in a place where she was negligent. She went vulnerable on the phone. She did anything. She played the game. She never knew where and what consequences would come with the game she was playing. So after that time, you realize from this story, when they shared at the table, the husband had actually chosen to block. He called the bank and asked them to block his account. Why? Because money went missing bits by bits. Every day money was going. But he had no clue, he had no idea. So I want you to look at that story. As a cybersecurity professional, what are some of the things that you can take home from that story? I thought these three things would be very important for us to take home. And they're just a hook you can go with. Number one, shared payment methods are risky. Convenience. Not that they're bad, not it's bad to share your payment card or your Visa card with your wife, with your children. It's very okay, but it's risky. My friend, I want you to think about it. At that moment, maybe the husband was good. It was nice, because at that point, you don't want to be in a space of you're the one buying this, you're the one buying this, you're the one paying for this, you're the one paying for this, with your busy schedule on your laptop, trying to do remote work, trying to do things, trying to come about this job. You're trying to figure out things on your laptop and you don't want to be in this whole jam-packed, time of paying for each and everything. And you're like, maybe let me just give my wife this card. Let me share this card with her phone. It's convenient at that point, but we have to be careful with who has our card. I'm not saying it's bad to share your card with your wife, with your children, but we have to be careful because you don't know what's happening on their phone, on their device. It is also important to be aware, to let people know and communicate in case of any critical alert. At this point, if Elizabeth's husband opened up earlier enough that, you know what, honey, I think money is just going off my account. Where could be the problem? But he concealed it. He thought he could manage it. But later on, after some time, 8,000 was gone. Think about it. I also want to let you know that boredom breeds vulnerability in digital behavior. It's very funny. You can choose to just go off your laptop for like 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes, you don't know, you might choose to go to a game. You might choose to open a certain website. You might choose to open a certain maybe browser and boom, there you go. You remember later that, oh my goodness, where have I been? What did I just purchase? Was it actually even necessary? Which button did I just press? You think later that you just got bored and there you go. You're chewed by the beast out there. So it's important that we know boredom can breed this vulnerability. It can just put you out in that space. And there are a few challenges I want to challenge you with from that story, because my friend was vulnerable simply because no one spoke to her. Maybe if someone spoke to her, maybe a family member who knows about these cybersecurity principles, she wouldn't have been vulnerable. I challenge you to go out there and build an adoptive identity ecosystem. Let it not just stop with the knowledge we have as cybersecurity professionals, but let this gospel reach someone out there. Tell them about multi-factor authentications. Let them know that yes, when you're signing into your Google account, let your phone be notified. Let your smartwatch be notified. Because we have all these devices. These days we have the Apple ecosystem. You can be notified on your watch. You can be notified on your iPad. You can be notified on your iPhone. You can be notified anywhere, you know? Let us not just sign in. Let not everyone just sign into your account like straight boom and they're in, you know? Tell people, tell someone, tell your family, tell your uncle, tell your wife, let them know about this so that we don't fall victims of such small issues. But also, let's educate users, people out there in the community about identity ownership. Let people know that identity ownership is very important. Actually, you notice I'm emphasizing let people know. Why? I believe, or I think, you know, in my opinion, I think we as cybersecurity professionals, it's not just about our knowledge. This knowledge is for people out there. We have it to solve the world's problems. So that is why I keep on saying, let people know. Let the community be aware that identity ownership is important. That you know, where is my card? In which spaces is my card, payment card? In which spaces is my identity? Who knows about my name? Who knows about my location? Who knows about where I stay? Who knows about what's happening on my phone? Because you don't know what that can breed, what that can cause, what consequences that can cause or have out there, you know? And lastly, in our challenges, I challenge you to also spread and enhance digital literacy in communities. Let someone here go out there. I challenge you to go out there, reach out to someone, have a public talk, teach people about to work with these gadgets. You know, very many people have gadgets, phones, iPads, smartwatches, but they don't have the discipline. They don't even know how to use them. As long as they can tell the time, full stop. As long as they can make a call, full stop. But what if you make it a point to reach out to them, tell them about how to use that laptop, how to use that phone, the do's and the don'ts, the cons and the pros, you know? I just challenge you to do that. And I believe I think it's just a hook that when we do that, our financial security is going to be strengthened personally, but also out there. We're going to have an improved cyber hygiene in our communities, in our environments, in our organizations, in the schools where our children go. But that only happens if you reach out there. We are also going to have resilience in our digital ecosystem, that things don't just happen to people. And that is if you and me go out there. And so once that all is done, these kinds of attacks, password attacks, brute force attacks, that are the basics of, you know, what attackers use to penetrate our devices, our families and relatives' devices and laptops and phones. Such attacks are going to be mitigated and curbed once we are out there once one of us, me and you, who is watching me right now, make it a point, purpose, to speak about it, to talk about it. Thank you very much. It's now Q&A.